The new Forza Motorsport has proved divisive amongst players, content creators and reviewers, so today we're going to explore why that is and I'm going to give you my untainted thoughts on the game. So for those that don't know, I'm a full-time content creator, mainly making content on the F1 games by EA, but I also play games like iRacing in my full racing rig. However, I'm actually coming at this review as an almost complete neutral. I had no expectations of this game and I've never even played a Forza Motorsport game before. I've simply picked up the game, which I've now played for 10 hours, and started playing it for what it is, which is realistically the same situations most of you will find yourselves in too. So let's get on to my personal experience of the game. Straight off the bat, I'll tell you that I've absolutely loved my time on Forza Motorsport so far. I played a mixture of career mode and online, and both have been thoroughly enjoyable and I've always been excited to play more. So what is it that I've enjoyed so much? Well, first of all, the intro to the game is the best intro that I have ever experienced of any racing game.
Brake before the turn, coast through it, then accelerate as you exit. Just one last pit stop for fresh tires, and you'll be in a great position for the final push.
It absolutely nails the balance between getting you driving while also teaching you about the game and the menus. For most tutorials, I end up skipping it because it's just waffle. But not this one. Once out on track, my first impressions of the driving were great. My wheel just worked on PC, the game seemed well optimized, and the force feedback felt very detailed, if a little over dampened. Which brings me on to my first negative. The game is very heavily biased towards mid-corner understeer and power sliding on the exits. Oh god, look at it, like turn car, Jesus! Oh no. If this is what the game's will always be like, it might kill the vibe for me, at least on a wheel, maybe it'd be okay on a pad. I've gotten used to this handling style over time, and I do still really enjoy driving it, but if you come into this game from a simulator, you might be in for a shock. That being said, the understeer should make it handle really nicely on a pad, and once you start getting more upgrades on the car, it does start to feel a lot more enjoyable. To be clear, the underlying game physics feel really good with this new game engine. I was able to catch slides really naturally with my wheel. I think they've just tuned the cars to fit a mainstream audience, which is no bad thing. Once it's given you a taste of a couple of different cars, you're into the career mode. I actually really like the way they've done the career mode, although I can see it getting repetitive quite quickly. So you have an in-game currency, like lots of other similar games, but this currency is only for buying cars. Once you own a car, you have to drive it to level it up, which then unlocks upgrades and car points for that particular car, which you can use to apply upgrades that are effectively free. I really like this system because it doesn't force you to choose between saving up for a new car or upgrading your current car. You always evolve your car throughout each championship. The feeling of the cars changes a lot with these upgrades as well. The suspension in particular really transforms the road cars and makes them not only faster, but also more enjoyable to drive and gives you a real feel of progression throughout each championship. And that is why I've been enjoying the career mode. I bought the premium edition, which came with a load of cars and credits, but that hasn't detracted from the career because the upgrades are completely separate from that. Onto the race weekend format then, which starts with a free practice session that you use to learn the track in your current car. This is where you will also have the opportunity to increase your car level for more upgrades. There's session-wide objectives like completing a certain number of laps or hitting a target lap time. There's also per corner XP to be gained as well, where you effectively get more XP the faster you go through the corner. This made practice actually feel worthwhile, and I'm really not the sort of person that enjoys practice. Once you're done with practice, you move on to the race, where you can choose your grid position with the objective always to get a podium. This works quite well, although I regularly start from the back for better rewards, but this exposes one of the game's key weaknesses right now, the AI. On the first lap in particular, they're painfully unpredictable and slow, often braking on corner exits or straights and regularly punting each other off. You don't expect someone to slam on the brakes in a straight. I'll get a penalty for that, alright. That felt like a revenge hit, that did. That felt like a revenge hit. They're also often reluctant to give the player any room, but when you do eventually get past them, they often slam on the brakes, giving you an extra second or so over them. This all results in the player naturally being aggressive with the AI, so they don't lose 10 plus seconds on the opening lap, which, to be fair, is probably how most people race the AI anyway. After the first lap, AI aren't too bad. They're fast enough and generally race the player okay, although they don't provide much of a challenge in battles. This brings us nicely onto the collision system, which I found to be perfect for this kind of game. The damage is minimal even on simulation, but if you make contact with another car, you know about it, so you're always looking to avoid it. The bump and run style of racing is not going to work here. If you do make contact or go off track, you'll notice a penalty review appear at the top of the screen. This is one of Forza Motorsport's biggest strengths. I don't think I've seen a better penalty system in any other racing game. I haven't had a single unjustified penalty, but it also regularly lets me get away with minor breaches that don't affect the race. Take off tracks as an example. When you go off track, it waits for several seconds to figure out if you've actually gained an advantage advantage or not. If the game decides you were slower, you get no penalty, which is most of the time.
Three off tracks, I think that meant. No penalty for it, lovely.
However, if you take a big cut or carry more speed than you otherwise would have been able to do, you can expect a penalty ranging from about a tenth of a second up to 1+ seconds per incident. And that brings us to multiplayer, which, just like in career mode, they've nailed the format, although I can see it becoming repetitive quite quickly. It's essentially the same format as single player, apart from you also participate in an optional qualifying session during practice to set the grid. I really like the fact that there's no lobby as such. You join in and you're straight into practice. It's how all racing games should work.
Oh, someone's gonna die. Oh, I'll get a penalty, I think. Oh my god.
Overall, I had an absolutely great time racing online and had some really great battles. My only worry is that after the 3 placement races, I was given the best safety rating along with 4,500 out of 5,000 skill rating. There's very little progression to be had from there. Also, I found the game to be incredibly stable at launch. I experienced just one single bug in my time with the game, which was when selecting my car online that unfortunately did require a restart.
When it says select car, just don't select car, just back out.
Oh no. Why did you say that about a second too late, please?
Is it a never-ending like loading screen?
Yeah.
It's never ending, yeah.
Changing car, loading, please wait. Never ending.
They have to restart the game.
Other than that though, I didn't have any other issues, which is frankly remarkable these days. The graphics though definitely leave something to be desired, but I've had more than enough fun driving this game to worry too much about how it looks. So why is this game so divisive? Why do so many content creators in particular seem to really dislike this game? I think it's a matter of both history and expectations. I came into the game completely fresh. I had no expectations and I've never played a Forza Motorsport game before. I think this allowed me to just enjoy the game for what it is. A great racing experience. If, however, I was hoping for the game to match Gran Turismo for graphics, Need for Speed for customization, Assetto Corsa for handling, or Forza Horizon for game modes, of course, I'm going to be left disappointed. That's not to detract from other people's thoughts on the game. I think they've all got very valid criticism, but for me, all I wanted was a racing game. And Forza has absolutely nailed the brief on that. Only time will tell if they can give the game a long lease of life and stop it from becoming repetitive while also adding some depth.
Oh, mummy! What? No way have I found that gap!
So, should you get this game? Well, I think that depends what you're looking for. If you want to fawn over the cars and their history, you should try Gran Turismo. If you want to just mess around with various game modes, then Forza Horizon is the game for you. But if all you want to do is go racing, well, I don't think there's many better mainstream games out there for that than Forza Motorsport. Anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed my review of Forza Motorsport. Let's use the comment section down below for a bit of debate on the game. I mean, this is obviously just my personal opinion of it and my recommendations, but everyone has got a different opinion, everyone's got different recommendations, particularly when it comes to this game. So have a good discussion down below. Let that be a kind of a, I guess, a player-based discussion, and if you wanted a few more opinions, they'll be down below. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.